Okay, let's talk about a word that makes a lot of people kind of nervous: debt. But what if I told you debt isn't just something to fear? What if it could actually be a powerful tool for your future? Well, today we're going to dive in and figure out how to master it. For so many of us, debt just feels like a trap, right? It's this weight on your shoulders, that number in the back of your mind that keeps you up at night. And you know what? That's a totally valid feeling. But we're going to try and reframe that thinking today. We're going to look at debt not as a cage, but maybe as a key. So let's just ask the big question right here at the start. Is taking on debt always a mistake? Is it always a step backward? The short answer is a hard no. The long answer, well, that's what this whole guide is about. See, not all debt is created equal. Some debt acts like a heavy anchor, just weighing you down, consuming your hard-earned money. But other kinds of debt, they can act like an engine, propelling you forward and actually helping you grow your income. Let's start with the one we're all familiar with, the one that causes all the stress. Let's talk about that anchor, bad debt, because understanding this is really the first step to avoiding it completely. So bad debt is basically when you borrow money for things that will be worth less tomorrow than they are today. It's almost always tied to that feeling of instant gratification, the thrill of buying something now, paid for with the stress of tomorrow. Think of it like this. It's like buying an ice cube with borrowed money. By the time you pay it off, all you've got left is a puddle. And we see this everywhere, right? High interest credit card debt for clothes or dinners out, a loan for a brand new car that loses a chunk of its value the second you drive it off the lot, even borrowing for that amazing once-in-a-lifetime vacation. These things give you some short-term fun for sure, but they absolutely drain your long-term financial power. But hey, enough about the anger. Let's talk about the engine. This is where things get exciting. This is where debt completely transforms from a liability into a seriously strategic tool for building your wealth. The definition of good debt is, you guessed it, the total opposite of bad debt. Here, you're borrowing to get something that's going to work for you. You're investing in an asset that's expected to grow in value or put more money back into your pocket than the loan is costing you over time. So, a student loan to get a degree that could dramatically increase your earning potential for the rest of your life, that's an engine. A mortgage to buy a house that appreciates in value over the decades, that's an engine. Or imagine taking a loan for a professional certification that unlocks a job paying you thousands more every single year. That's a powerful engine for your financial life. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but in the real world, how do you actually tell the difference? When you're faced with a decision, how do you know if you're buying an engine or an anchor? Well, it turns out there's one simple, powerful question that just cuts through all the noise. This is it. This is the filter. You should run every single borrowing decision through this one question for the rest of your life. You ready for it? There it is, the golden rule. Let's say it again. Will this loan make me more money in the future than it's costing me now? This one question forces you to shift your whole perspective from being a short-term consumer to a long-term investor in your own life. I mean, if you can look at a loan for a professional certification and say, yep, this will absolutely boost my salary by way more than the loan payments, then you've got your answer. But if you look at a loan for a new TV and ask this same question, the answer is almost always a very clear no. It's a beautifully simple litmus test. So you have the mental model, you've got the golden rule. Now let's turn all this knowledge into a practical, step-by-step guide you can use anytime you're even thinking about a loan. It really is a simple three-step process. First, be brutally honest with yourself about what the loan is really for. Is it a want or is it a true investment? Second, apply that golden rule we just talked about. And third, you have to look at the fine print. A crazy high interest rate can turn a potentially good debt into a bad one. So always understand the total cost and the risks involved. So here's the big takeaway. Stop thinking of debt as this evil monster hiding under the bed. It's not. It's a neutral tool, kind of like a hammer. In the right hands, a hammer can build a beautiful house, but in the wrong hands, it can just cause a lot of damage. The choice of how to use it, that's yours. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. Armed with this knowledge, you are now the architect of your financial future. What are you going to choose to build? An anchor that holds you back or an engine that powers you forward? The next move is yours.